my beloved child. Before you hurry onward through days filled with busyness and unending thoughts, I want you to pause for a moment in the quietness of your soul. Let the noise of the world settle into stillness so that you may look deeply into the most hidden place within your heart. There are things there you have tried to conceal, fears you have never named, burdens you have carried that even you hesitate to acknowledge. Perhaps they are memories that still cause you pain, decisions you once regretted, or small compromises you allowed yourself simply to find a moment of peace. Yet, my child, I do not call you to look back at these things so that you may drown in guilt or shame. I call you to look at them so that you may be set free. For whatever remains hidden in darkness still holds the power to bind your soul. But whatever is brought into the light of my presence begins to be healed. I know how weary you have become. I see the days when you strive to appear strong before others, while within your soul an unseen battle continues. There are nights when you lie down, but your mind refuses to rest. When old thoughts return like waves that never cease, striking the shore. Then the next morning you step out again with a smile, as though everything were well. Many times you have told yourself that time will make these things fade, that one day they will simply disappear on their own. But my child, wounds that are never touched do not vanish, they only sink deeper into the heart. They do not leave simply because you try to forget them. They truly begin to dissolve only when you dare to place them into my hands. You do not need to be afraid to stand before me with everything that is most real within you. I am not like the voices of the world that make you fear judgment. I have seen every tear you tried to hide, every sigh breathed in silence, every moment when you felt weak. Nothing within you is unfamiliar to me. Therefore, do not think that you must conceal anything or pretend to be strong before me. What I desire is not your perfection, but your honesty. Let your heart open like a door that has long been closed, and allow my light to enter. There are fears that have lived within you for so long that you have begun to believe they are part of who you are. But remember, this fear was never created to rule your soul. It gains strength only when you allow it to remain. Each time you avoid what you know is right. Each time you remain silent when you should seek me. Each time you accept living with what wounds you instead of entrusting it to me. You unknowingly give fear more room to dwell. Yet today I tell you that your freedom is still within reach. I placed it in your soul from the very beginning. You were not created to live in the invisible chains of anxiety, doubt, or shame. Therefore, be courageous and step out of the shelter you once believed to be safe. Often what you call safety is actually a prison for the soul. You remain there because it is familiar, even though it weighs upon your heart. But I want you to step out of that narrow place and into the wide horizon of faith. You do not need to see the entire path ahead in order to walk. Faith does not demand that you see everything. It only asks that you trust that I am the one leading the way. I do not require you to become flawless before you may touch true freedom. What I seek from you is simply obedience. When you choose to trust my word more than the emotions that shake your heart, a new door will begin to open. When you dare to move forward even while your heart trembles, you will discover that I have already been standing ahead of you, ready to uphold you. In each small step of obedience, the burdens you believed you would carry for a lifetime will slowly fall from your shoulders. You must also understand that healing does not begin when circumstances change. It begins the moment your heart whispers a simple word, I am willing. When you speak those words, your soul opens like hands ready to receive grace. I cannot place new things into hands that still cling tightly to the past. But when you release what you hold, I can fill those hands with a peace the world cannot give. I can transform the memories that once wounded you into seeds of growth. I can turn your tears into streams that bring life to others. Give to me the things you have kept hidden, the mistakes that fill you with shame, the losses that caused your heart to close, the questions you never dared to speak. I have not come to remind you of your failures. I have come to turn ashes into beauty. I can transform the most barren places in your soul into fields that bloom. But you must believe that my love is greater than your past. And my child, the new season of your life is not a distant moment waiting at the end of the road. It begins the very instant you choose to trust me more than your fear. When you say within your heart that you place your confidence in me, heaven itself begins to move on your behalf. Doors that once seemed closed in your life will slowly open. Wounds that once appeared impossible to heal will be touched by my gentleness. One day, you will look back upon the path you have walked and realize that the very thing you feared facing became the doorway that led you into freedom. You will understand that nothing was truly lost when you placed everything into my hands. For in my hands there is no destruction, only life. There is no condemnation, only restoration. And on the other side of that surrender, you will find what your soul has always longed for, a deep and abiding peace, a complete freedom, and a new life guided by my love. My beloved child, when you begin to understand that true freedom does not come from running away from the things that hurt you, but from having the courage to face them in the light of my presence, then a new door within your soul has already begun to open. I do not call you into this journey to exhaust you further, nor to leave you fighting alone against the fears that once held you captive. I call you because I want you to know that within you there is a strength greater than the memories that once made you tremble. And that strength does not come from yourself, but from my presence dwelling in your soul. For so long you have lived within cycles of anxiety, with old thoughts returning like clouds that pass again and again across the sky of your mind. You have often told yourself that change will come when the right moment arrives, that someday you will become strong enough to break free from these invisible bonds. But my child, I tell you that transformation does not begin in some distant future. It begins in the very moment you rise and declare that you no longer wish to live beneath the shadow of what once was. Understand this as well. I am not calling you to abandon life or turn away from reality. I am not inviting you into a place of escape from the world. Instead, I am calling you to stand in the midst of this very life with a heart made new and eyes illuminated by faith. When you rise not only from fear, but also from the voices that once made you believe you were small, from the thoughts that caused you to doubt your own worth. There have been moments when you repeated words within your heart that weakened you, accusations against yourself that led you to believe you were not good enough, not strong enough, not worthy enough. Yet those voices do not come from me. I never created you to live in contempt of your own soul. I placed within you the light of life, and that light was never meant to be hidden beneath the darkness of doubt. Therefore, I want you to look directly at the things that once made you hesitate. Do not turn away any longer. Do not continue postponing the steps you know you must take. There are doors before which you have stood for a long time, your hand resting upon the handle while your heart remained uncertain. You fear that opening them will force you to face emotions you tried to forget. But I tell you that behind those doors is not your destruction but your liberation. Only when you dare to open them can the light enter. Do not think that you must feel completely ready before you move forward. On the path of faith, no one ever truly feels fully prepared. People simply decide to trust and step ahead. And in that very act of stepping forward, strength begins to be given. Your legs may still tremble, but do not let that stop you. Faith is not the feeling of absolute certainty. It is the choice to continue walking even while questions remain in your heart. When you say, "I will follow your word," you open a path for my power to work. You do not need to possess every answer before you take the next step. You only need to hold firmly to the trust that I am walking ahead of you. Many believe that blessings come from understanding everything clearly. But in truth, blessings often flow through the steps of faith. When you trust, you allow me to guide you through places your understanding has not yet been able to see. I do not wait for you, at some distant moment in the future. I am here, in the very moment you are living now. Therefore, do not delay any longer. Do not allow fear to stretch across another day, another night, another season of your life. Begin with simple yet sincere steps. Speak with me in prayer, not with ornate words, but with the honesty of your heart. Allow the things you have hidden to be laid bare before me. Forgive those who have wounded you, not because they deserve it, but because your soul deserves to be unburdened. Release from your hands the things that have held you back for far too long. Perhaps when you first begin to walk, there will still be tears upon your face. Perhaps your first steps will feel fragile and uncertain, but do not be afraid of your own weakness. It is often in the moments when you feel most vulnerable that I am closest to you. When you feel that you no longer have the strength to continue, I will become your strength. When you lose your way, I will set your feet again upon the right path. When you stumble, I will not leave you lying there, but I will lift you up so that you may continue the journey before you. Remember that every step you take in obedience carries a meaning greater than you realize. Each time you choose trust instead of doubt, you declare to the darkness that it no longer has authority over your life. Each time you keep moving forward even while your heart still trembles, you create space for my light to spread more deeply within your soul. Those small steps, when woven together, will become a path that leads you into a deep and abiding peace. You must also understand that peace does not mean that every storm in your life will suddenly disappear. True peace is knowing that even within the storm, I am still with you. When the winds rise and you feel yourself shaken, you can lift your eyes and know that I still hold you in my hands. In the same way, freedom does not mean that fear will never visit you again. Freedom means that fear no longer has the power to determine the direction of your life. You may still feel it, but you are no longer bound to obey it. There will be steps that move slowly, and there will be days when you feel that you have made very little progress. But do not measure your journey by speed. What matters is not how quickly you arrive, but that you continue to walk in response to my call. True breakthrough is not found in running ahead, but in remaining faithful to each small step that I place before you. Faith, my beloved, is not merely a feeling that rises and falls with circumstances. Faith is a deep decision within the soul, a choice repeated day after day to trust me no matter how the circumstances may change. And obedience is not a sign of weakness. On the contrary, it is the strength of a heart that knows to whom it truly belongs. Today I am opening before you a new season. It is a season of restoration, of healing you have long awaited, of peace that will no longer be stirred by the memories of the past. Yet to enter that season, you must release the things that have kept you anchored behind. The past has no authority to define your future unless you permit it. Therefore, place your hand upon your chest and remember that you are not alone. You belong to me, and my love for you has not changed regardless of what you have endured. When you begin the journey of looking honestly within yourself, I know it is not easy. You have grown accustomed to hiding pain behind a strong exterior. You have grown used to continuing forward while your heart remains heavy within you. But do not fear this path, for I walk beside you in every breath you take, even in the moments when you believe you are standing alone in darkness. I am there closer than you imagine. When you feel as though you are about to collapse beneath the weight of pain, it is precisely then that I am quietly holding your soul. The quiet unrest within your heart is not proof of weakness. It is an invitation for you to draw nearer to me. When I allow the hidden places within you to be revealed, it is not to bring you shame, but to help you recognize your need for me. Your soul was not created to carry every wound alone. It was created to find healing within my light. Many people choose to cover the things they are afraid to face, and many turn away when truth knocks upon the door. But my beloved, Light can only reach the places that you are willing to open. Therefore, open the door of your heart. Do not keep hidden corners that you believe no one can reach. Allow my light to enter the places you once feared to look upon. As that light spreads, you will begin to see that the things which once made you tremble are not as powerful as you once believed. And within that light, your soul will slowly rediscover the peace I prepared for you from the very beginning. My beloved child, as you begin to walk in the light of the truth I have set before your eyes, there will come moments when you quietly wonder whether your soul has truly been set free. I hear those silent questions, and I want you to understand that the sign of freedom is not that your life suddenly becomes perfect or that every difficulty vanishes. You will recognize freedom when fear no longer sits upon the throne, directing your decisions. You will see it when you begin choosing through faith rather than through worry. When you dare to step forward, even though the entire road is not yet visible. When you dare to speak what is right, even if it does not please everyone around you. When you find the courage to release the things that no longer belong to your journey. In those moments, your soul is being restored little by little. The healing I give does not mean that you will never feel pain again. It means that pain will no longer command the direction of your life. You may still remember, and at times the old wound may briefly ache, but it will no longer write your story, because your story now rests within my hands. I know that through many past seasons you have allowed worry to guide your steps. There were times you remained silent because you feared disappointing others. There were dreams you tucked deep inside your heart because you believed you could never accomplish them. There were relationships you kept at a distance because your heart feared being wounded once again. I have seen all of these things, and I do not condemn you for those moments of weakness. Yet, my child, I want you to understand that every time you allow fear to write your decisions, you are handing authority to a voice that was never created to rule your soul. I have prepared for you a path of life, of restoration, and of light. When you delay the things I have placed within your heart, you not only slow your own journey, but also miss the wonders I have prepared. Therefore I say to you, do not allow worry to become a habit of your soul. It remains only if you continue to open the door to it. When you begin to listen to my voice, more than the voice of fear within you, the direction of your life will gradually change. You will learn to walk not by what your eyes can see, but by the quiet confidence that I am guiding each small step. Allow me to teach you something that many in this world have never understood. True victory does not come from using your own strength to fight every fear, but from learning to rest within my presence. The greatest battle of the soul is not driving away darkness through desperate effort, but refusing to nourish it with your attention. When you ignite the light of my word within your heart, darkness will withdraw on its own. When my truth fills your mind, lies lose their power. Therefore, do not try to fight with your fragile will alone. Let my promises become the weapon in your hands. When your heart trembles, speak the words that I have spoken. When you cannot yet see the outcome, lift your voice in praise. Each time you choose to trust me in the midst of emotional storms, heaven rejoices, because your faith is writing a victory that you cannot yet see. I also want you to understand that this journey will not always be smooth. There will be days when you feel exhausted, moments when you want nothing more than to stop and return to what is familiar. Yet you must remember that my love for you never diminishes simply because you feel weak. I do not cancel the plans I have for your life because you experience moments of hesitation. On the contrary, it is precisely in the places where you feel most fragile that my power will be revealed most clearly. Give me every fragment of your heart, every question that still has no answer, every memory you do not know how to heal. Do not hide from me the parts of yourself that seem too tangled and broken. I do not come demanding that you repair yourself before drawing near to me. I come to touch the very places that remain unhealed. What I seek in you is not the appearance of strength, but a sincere heart. You may come to me with eyes still wet with tears, with thoughts that are not yet clear, with prayers that sometimes feel uncertain. I am not afraid of your truth, for I am the truth. Speak to me about everything within your heart, even the things you have never dared confess to anyone. When you open yourself like a stream pouring its waters into the sea, I will fill you again with a deep and abiding peace. There are times when you wonder why you continue to pray while your circumstances remain unchanged. You may think that I am silent, but my child, there are moments when I do not change what surrounds you because I am doing a deeper work. I am transforming you. The greatest blessing is not merely what you receive, but the person you become as you pass through the trial. Remember that some seeds only begin to grow in the darkness beneath the soil. Some lessons are engraved into the soul only through tears. What you are experiencing is not meaningless. I never allow suffering to pass without purpose. Every scar in your life will become a mark of grace. Every tear will become a testimony of restoration. Seasons of dryness prepare the ground for seasons of blooming. And in the very places where you once fell, you will rise again with a strength you never possessed before. The restoration I bring is not simply a return to what once was, but an entrance into an entirely new life. Therefore, do not continue to see yourself through the failures of your past. Do not allow former mistakes to overshadow the light of the future I have prepared for you. I do not look at you through the lens of your stumbles. When I look at you, I see a child who has been redeemed, chosen, and destined for glory. Lay down the burdens of self-condemnation. Let what is behind remain behind. Lift your eyes forward to the place where I stand waiting for you to come. The season you are entering is a season of truth and light. I am calling you out of the protective shell you once built around yourself. I am leading you out of the comfort zone that once felt safe, but no longer allows you to grow. If you remain within the limits of fear, you will never discover how greatly I can work through your life. I did not create you to live within narrow boundaries. I created you to walk in the freedom of faith. Faith does not make every fear disappear, but it prevents fear from controlling you. And you must remember that delay is often the quiet shadow of fear. When you continually say that tomorrow you will begin, you are losing the opportunity of today. Every small step of obedience moves heaven. Each time you choose to postpone, a door may quietly close. I do not want you to live with the questions of what if. I want you to live fully in the present, where faith becomes action. Begin with small things. Forgive the one who hurt you, even if they have not apologized. Spend time speaking with me, even when your heart feels dry. Open my word, even when you do not feel anything. In those small acts of faithfulness, I am preparing you for greater breakthroughs. My child, the peace I give you is not like the fragile calm that the world offers. My peace does not depend on whether circumstances are easy or difficult. It flows from the awareness that I hold all things in my hands. When you live in that awareness, the storms outside will no longer shake the foundation of your soul. And from that deep place of peace, you will begin to see new doors opening in your life, not in the way the world defines success, but in the way heaven calls life. When you are freed from fear, you will see your purpose more clearly. When you lay down burdens that were never yours to carry, you will hear my guidance more clearly. When you walk in faith, my power will reveal itself through things that seem small. And when you choose obedience, your life will become a blessing to those around you. I desire your life to become a living testimony, not through grand speeches, but through the way you live, each day loving when others are cold, forgiving when you are wounded, persevering when nothing seems to move forward, and remaining faithful in the smallest things. You do not need to be perfect in order to shine. You only need to live honestly with the grace that has touched you. The truth that you have been renewed will become hope for those who are weary. So, as you step into this new season, do not fear unfamiliar roads. The wind may blow and the waves may rise, but they will not sweep you away. Your roots are planted deeply in me. You will not only overcome, but you will also help others stand again. You will not only be healed, but you will become an instrument of healing for other souls. Continue forward, child of the light. Let each day you live become a song of gratitude. Let my word guide you, my spirit sustain you, and my presence be the place where you always return. Do not fear the future, for I have gone before you. Do not fear the past, for I have redeemed it. Simply continue walking, and the rest I will complete. Now, in the quietness of your soul, lift up your heart and offer your most sincere prayers before me. Almighty God, you who see every hidden corner of my heart, today I no longer wish to run from the things I once concealed. Shine your light into the darkest places of my soul. Grant me the courage to face the fears that have bound me for so long, and the faith to place everything into your hands. When my heart feels weak and trembling, remind me that your power is greater than every burden I carry. Set my soul free from the invisible chains of doubt and anxiety, so that I may walk in the freedom you prepared for me from the beginning. Merciful Father, the one who heals broken hearts, I come before you with open hands, ready to surrender my past. Receive the memories that bring me pain, the mistakes that fill me with shame, and the losses that caused my heart to close. Turn the ashes of my life into new beauty beneath your loving hands. When I feel unworthy, remind me that your love does not depend on my perfection but on your endless grace. Let my soul find rest in your presence, and let your peace fill every shadowed place within me. Lord of light and truth, teach me to walk in obedience even when the path ahead is not clear. When fear urges me to step back, grant me courage to continue forward. When emotions shake me, help me hold firmly to your promises above all that I feel. Let faith within me grow stronger day by day, so that I may no longer live guided by the anxieties of the world but by trust in you. May every step I take rest upon the foundation of your truth and your love. Lord, the source of peace for my soul, help me release the things I have held on to for too long. I know I cannot carry the past and still step into the future you have prepared. So today I lay every burden at your feet. Fill the emptiness within my heart with your gentle presence. Let the river of your peace flow through my mind, driving away every worry and bringing renewal to my soul. Help me awaken each day with faith that you are guiding my life toward goodness. Lord, who leads me through every season of life, help me remember that I never walk alone. When I feel lost, remind me that you are still beside me. When I am weary, become my strength. When I am weak, lift me with your unchanging love. Open before me the doors you have prepared, and close the paths that do not belong to your will. Let my life become a living witness to your mercy and your power. Gracious Father, I thank you because you never turn away from me, even in my weakest moments. Thank you because your light always reaches the darkest places of my heart. Thank you because your love never abandons me, even when I have doubted and feared. I know that every step of my life is seen by you, and under your care, no tear is meaningless. God of grace and hope, I also thank you for the beautiful future you have prepared for me. I thank you for the doors you are opening, for the healing you are working within my soul, and for the peace you are planting within my mind. I believe that when I place my life into your hands, I will lose nothing that is truly precious, but instead receive new life, deep joy, and complete freedom in your everlasting love. I offer this prayer in the holy name of Jesus Christ. Amen. Do not forget to subscribe and turn on notifications so that together we can build a strong community of faith.